Yes. Good morning. Happy Monday. Fired up, ready to go. Also in the brand new Woo by Flair Tank. That's right. Get it down below for our friends at Teespring. Producer Allie, just amazing work. And so today we're going to talk about Sky You Ma. Sky your mom right in the face. That's right. Because even though nepotism runs rampant through football, and I know some Vikings fans only want Gopher safety Antoine Winfield Jr. because his daddy plays here, and also he plays at the state school. But other than that, I tell you what, dude is a legit player. He's a baller. He's a shot caller, and you should want him even if his last name was Grabowski or Bukowski or whatever, because kid can play, and I think he would make a great addition to the Minnesota Fighting Vikings. So, background on Winfield. 5'10", 200-pound safety, former three-star recruit in the 2016 class by then-coach Tracy Claeys. But in fairness, Fleck retained him because Winfield was thinking about going elsewhere. But did have some injuries in 2017, 2018, which limited him to only 4 games per season each of those years. So he's technically a redshirt sophomore. So he could come back for 2 more years, but doesn't look like that's going to happen. So he made an impact right away as a true freshman, starting 10 games, and then had those aforementioned injuries, which sort of plagued him. And then his question's like, all right, so coming in 2019, what's he going to do? Oh, he brought it. Yeah, he certainly brought it. Led the Gophers in tackling this year with 88. Also had 3 sacks and put up a school record 7 interceptions. Ball hawkish. Also in the Penn State win, the biggest win for the Gophers this season, Winfield was an absolute stud, stepped it up in the big-time game, 11 tackles and 2 interceptions. And then he was rewarded. He was a unanimous All-American this season. He was the only unanimous defensive back in the voting besides Jeff Okudah of Ohio State, who could be a top 10, if not a top 5 pick. So you may be thinking, all right, so that resume, all that other stuff, big-time school in the Big Ten. Well, a Big Ten school. And you're like, all right, so this kid's going to be a first-round pick, right? Probably not. What's going to hold him back is his size, is that he's undersized for a safety, 5'10", 200. At the combine, may even weigh in less than that. And also, even though he, back in the day, reportedly ran a 4.2740, which is amazing, like he doesn't play to that speed, where he's not slow by any stretch of the imagination, but there is an interesting difference. I think they'll come up because I think he'll test really well at the combine in time speed versus film on the field speed. So we'll see what happens there. Also, I mean, his injury history. He lost the bulk of 2 seasons due to foot and Liz Frank injuries, so that's going to be held against him as well. I mean, so you have a smallish safety who had 2 medical hardship waivers, so I think that's going to drop him possibly significantly in the draft, because I think he'll probably fall into deep round 2, maybe even round 3, potentially even farther than that, depending on what happens between now and draft day. But I think people could be worried where supreme talent for sure has got the pedigree and did it on the field, but also he really only did for 1 year, like I mentioned with the 2 injury seasons, although he did contribute as a true freshman. But this could be like the Bob Sanders type player, where you have this fierce, tenacious player whose body just cannot keep up with the style that they want to play. And personally, I would love Winfield. I think he would be worth the gamble there. And even if the Vikings resign Anthony Harris, I think just the generalized defensive backfield is still a big need. Because even though I don't think Winfield will be an every down safety to begin with, I think he could certainly slide into that third safety slot cornerback type role that Kurtz and Sendejo filled in at times last year, because as the league progresses, it becomes more and more about sub packages, and having a talent like Winfield Jr., who I think plays a lot like Honey Badger Tyrann Mathieu from back in the day. Also, he's playing the Super Bowl now for the Chiefs. He brings that type of style where, is he a safety? Is he a slot corner? Is he a corner? He hits like a linebacker. He's also a ball hawk. He has got all that going for him. Plus, he does have a little bit of limited punt return experience. Returned 1 for a touchdown in 2018. I think he only has 3 career punt returns in college, but you could add that to the mix, because is Mike Hughes going to be a long-term punt returner? I don't know. But I think it would be great if the Vikings picked him up. And again, not just because of who his dad was, or the fact that his dad played for the Vikings, or the fact that he plays for the Gophers. It's because he's a phenomenal player, right? But also ancillary benefit. It would be cool if he stayed in Minnesota and his dad would come to more games and maybe head back to Canterbury Park a little bit, as he used to be a fixture back in the 30-60 games back in the day, back when 30-60 was actually spread, and then they had those dirty $10 tan chips. You know what I mean? And also, Antoine always had 2 per. It was like, how do you? Oh, Antoine, what do you have? 2 per. Oh, give him the pot. I guess he wins. But anyways, what are your thoughts, Antoine Winfield Jr. Let us know in the comment section below. I forget what movie it was. Oh, it was High School High, where the guy introduced himself. My name is Antonio Lopez Santa Anna Jr. That was just funny to me. Anyways, let us know in the comment section below, Antoine Winfield Jr. Plus, subscribe Daily Vikings Takes, as well as random ass tangents about 90s movies. Plus, if you want to support the work, pull us on the Venmo. Plus, give us a follow on social media as well. But until next time, Skull, production value.